you know, it's hard enough to get streams as it is in today's market, but senior musicians have even a harder time in getting streams on the streaming platforms, platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon. Why is that? Well, why is it that the algorithms favor younger artists and not the seniors? There's a reason for that. And part of it is competition. There are 100,000 songs uploaded to Spotify daily. 100,000 songs. So you can imagine what your competition is like in trying to get on those platforms and get streams. Also, you have to consider the market. By Spotify now, 73% of the streaming audience on Spotify is between the age of 18 to 34. That's 18 to 34, which only leaves us seniors approximately 27%. And if you think about it, the 27% of seniors that are streaming, they're probably streaming their nostalgic favorites, the Beatles, the Eagles, the Motown catalog, things like that. And they're not really looking for new artists, new senior artists like you and I. So it's important to recognize this. Who's actually streaming? And this is overall. Overall, 56% of the streams are still between the ages of 25 and 34. And again, this is encompassing all the platforms, not just Spotify. And the 55 to 64 range is only 26%. So again, that's a tight window for us seniors to try to break through on the streaming platforms. Remember now, I'm only talking streaming. I'm not talking commercial radio. I'm not talking live performance. I'm just talking streaming. And the reason why is because even though the odds are tough, I noticed that a lot of senior musicians, they still put their stuff up on the streaming platforms and they don't get anything. This is the way it is, right? I'm telling you. The genre is also important. Of the top 5 genres that people are streaming, pop is number 1. That hasn't changed. Pop's been number 1 for the last up 10 years, right? Pop is number 1. EDM is number 2. That's the dance music, right? Well, the seniors are probably not going to be making too much dance music. That's just not our thing. We're not going to be hanging out in the clubs, right? But that's number 2. Rap is number 3. There is nothing worse than a old rapper, right? Especially if somebody that's trying to break through as a new guy, a senior, right? Old rapper. Oh my God, that's just awful. But that's number 3. Rock is number 4. We still have people who like rock. And 5 is this Urbano Latino music, the Ariana Grande stuff, right? That's stuff that's coming out of South America, which is really, it's smoking its way up the charts, I'm telling you. Some of those songs are in the top 5, across the United States. Those pop songs, right? I'm not going to say anything about the substance of them, right? But they're definitely making an impact. But those are the top 5. So what's not in the top 5? The stuff that seniors like to create, right? I get a lot of comments from seniors that want to do metal. They want to do country. They want to do reggae. And when I say country, I'm not talking pop country. I'm talking the hardcore country. They want to do that. They want to do R&B. I know guys that still want to do tributes to Luther Vandross, right? They want to do R&B, and also they want to do jazz. I know some amazing jazz musicians who cannot break through because the jazz is so limited. People who stream jazz, a lot of times they like to stream the old time favorites, the George Bensons, people like that. They like that jazz, and that's what they're going to stick with. And they're not really open to a lot of new musicians. So here's the deal. For us seniors, right? The data shows that we don't really stream a lot anyway. Spotify says that only 19% of the people 55 and over actually stream. That's really small. And again, when you think about that 55%, they're probably streaming the tunes and the groups that they used to listen to in their day, and they're not really streaming a lot of the new music, which means what? Which means Spotify doesn't put a lot of the senior music in front of them because Spotify wants you to stay on their platform. As a matter of fact, every DSP want you to stay on their platform. That's the whole goal, is to keep you on their platform. Advertising increases, everything goes up. So it's amazing that the least liked genres, of course, again, are genres that senior musicians like. I'm not going to use classical, even though classical is least liked, because classical is probably, people listen to it on NPR, or a lot of classical people actually buy CDs, But jazz, sorry guys. Country, sorry guys. It's the least liked music genres on the streaming platforms. Again, I'm not talking about whether the music is bad or good. I'm just telling you what's out there. So, I'm giving you guys all the bad news, right? Well, it's not really bad news. What it is it's data. You have to understand the data if you want to move forward, so that you can develop a plan or a strategy to try to overcome that. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So the big takeaway is that even though seniors like us, we can create some great, great music. We really can. We've got the talent, we've got the experience, and we can do that, right? But what we haven't done is we haven't concentrated on the digital space of marketing. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, the dreaded TikTok. We have not explored the full capabilities of doing that. And those platforms, those social media platforms, they grow our presence, our global presence. And when they do that, people hear our music, they save it, they add it to playlists. And when they do that, the algorithms pick our music up and push it out to more and more people. As a side note, one of my experiences, my recent experiences, is that I wanted to do something different, so I did a club song. And when I did this club song, this was 18 months ago. The song did like 30,000 streams. So I said, okay, this is looking pretty good here. Let me put $5 a day behind it for a couple of months. Target disco and EDM and see where it goes. But one thing I did, which was really important, is that I did not use this face as the face of the music. In my advertisement, what I did was I used an advertisement, a video clip of people line dancing to the song. Man, that thing really, really took off. It really did. Got tons of saves, got tons of playlist additions. The algorithm, radio, Discover Weekly, Repeat, Rewind, all of those algorithms by Spotify picked it up, pushed it out to more and more people, and it grew from there. And again, it started at 30,000. It finished the end of the year at maybe maybe 90,000. And here it is. We are in May, and the song has approximately 220,000 streams. And all of this is because the algorithm keeps pushing it out. People keep hearing it. People keep seeing that line dancing logo, and they just love it. And they're actually saving that song, and that song is still growing. What was the main thing? I think if I had left my face, this old man's face, on the cover, I don't think it would have done as well. I just don't, But by changing that up, just making that little turn in the strategy, helped the algorithm pick it up. People liked it and just kept pushing and pushing from there. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about maybe strategies that you might want to employ. Maybe you have a great country song, or maybe you have a great jazz song, right? And I notice a lot of jazz people do this anyways. They don't put their picture on the cover. They'll use some logo or some footage or some scenery or whatever. They do that. And the reason why is because they don't want the young people to automatically skip just based on the first look. They don't want to do that. And again, that's just plain marketing. That's just marketing, because if you market correctly, all you want out of your marketing is for your song to have a chance, for somebody to have a chance to listen to it, and then decide whether they like it or whether they don't. But what happens with a lot of senior musicians is they don't believe in that. They think that their song is so good, which the song is, but they think their song is so good that it's going to get played on its own, and it's not going to happen, man. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. So you may want to consider that. And if you don't want to do that, and you're not concerned. I know people say streaming doesn't pay very much, right? However, I would dare say that the people who have 100,000 listeners a month, I think they're doing a little something. They may not be millionaires, but they're doing a little something, you know. Me, I'm lucky. I have, as of the making of this video, I have I have like 24,000 listeners a month. I have that. And I noticed I did a little more research that shows that on Spotify, only 19% of the musicians on Spotify have over 1,000 listeners a month. Only 19%. See, you know, so you have to give your music a chance. If you don't care about that, which is fine, you know, don't. And there's no point putting it up on Spotify. I'm just telling you. Put it on YouTube. Put it on SoundCloud. Sell it yourself on Bandcamp, you know. But even if you decide to sell it yourself, you still got to market it. Whether you're doing live performances or whatever, but you still got to market it. That never goes, that component never goes away. And it appears that senior musicians are more resistant to doing the marketing that goes with promoting the song. And whether they're getting streams or whether they're getting sales, they just don't seem to do that. But that's the takeaway. The data shows you that your audience aperture is pretty small. And that if you want it to grow, because you're struggling for streams, is you got to market. Now you need time, or you need money, or you need both. You know, but if you want your streams to grow, then you have to make that song available to a large audience and let them decide whether they like your song or not. That's what this is all about. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, give it a like. And again, if you like what I'm talking about, subscribe to my channel. My channel is Senior Musicians Unite. My name is Henry Clark, and I focus on senior musicians like me, like us. Those are the people that I focus on because I don't want to see it left behind, because we are great at what we do, you know. And I also, I spend quite a bit of time on a product called Band in a Box. This is not an advertisement for Band in a Box by no means. I'm just saying that it's a tool that a lot of seniors use, and I have a lot of tutorials out there on my YouTube channel that shows seniors how to get more out of the product, because it can be a pretty complex product. So again, if you like what I'm talking about, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.